content. Alright, cool. I am actually streaming right now. I think I'm streaming. It says that I am streaming. I think I'm streaming. I think I'm streaming. Streaming, dreaming. Streaming and dreaming. Alright, let me give people a little bit of time to come through. Because we live right now. You know what I'm saying? You live, you get live, you get liver than live. I'll be freestyling this video. If you've been following my videos for a minute, you probably don't even need this tutorial, but it's beneficial no matter what stage of the game of production you in. This will definitely be beneficial to you. Alright, cool. So it looks like my stream is healthy. Try to go live at 5, but I had to set this stream up properly. I've been having a bunch of problems streaming today. I promise you, bro. Like, it's been insanely insane trying to stream today. But it's cool though. I kept my cool, and I tried my best not to make any raggedy videos, so it's cool. Alright, so I've been streaming for a couple minutes now. Good. My stream is healthy. You definitely want your stream to be healthy. I like how the stream allows you to throw little ads up on your Facebook and on your everywhere, actually. So it's cool. Let me throw one of these up on my production page on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. It's @/BroLoveMusic. Just do a search for Bro Love Music. Or Twitter, Bro Love Music. Instagram is Bro Love though. Alright. Cool. Throw that on Facebook real quick. Let me throw one on Twitter real quick. Cool. Everything's straight. Looks like I got one person watching. I'm in the chat room, so if you want to ask me any questions, that's cool. Actually, I'm not in the chat room. I'm about to go into the chat room right now. Give me a second. Let me get logged in and everything mine. Let me get logged in and everything mine. If the questions that you have are pertinent, I'll answer them. If they're not, then I'll save it for another video. But if it's just ratchet, you will get banned and blocked for life. So keep that in mind before you speak. Alright, cool. I am in the live chat officially. Alright. I'm officially live chatting. I'm officially streaming. I got my visual up. And so I'll only be working with MPC Essentials on this one. So cool. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Alright. Where to start? Okay, so if you've been following my videos, about 2 days ago I made a video where I downloaded the aiff music drum kit, and then I made a beat live right here on YouTube. And so that beat sounds like this. If you haven't seen the video, go back and watch that joint. Hey, 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 ahead and stop it right there. So of course, you know, Arab music is off the chain. Shouts out to Arab music. I haven't met you yet, brother, but that's a dope kit, and that's just a demo. So we got these MIDI notes on the screen, and we have the sound coming out. But what's the next step? How do we take this out of our laptop to another studio? How do we email it? What do we do with this information that's on the screen? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Exporting audio and exporting project data. So this is kind of advanced. So if you are a beginner and you just want to email tracks, this video will be beneficial to you. So just kind of hang with me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be kind of little, how do I say it? I'll be delving into some deep stuff, okay? Some deep doo-doo. Just joking. Alright, so I won't be delving in no deep doo-doo today. So what you're looking at here is my project screen, my pads and everything. And if you are not familiar with MPC Essentials, I suggest that you go back a couple videos and on my page, and I go into depth. Actually, I have a few more tutorials that I need to do with MPC Essentials to go like super in depth. But I think I'll get pretty deep on this particular video concerning project data and exporting audio though only. Okay, so we already know how to load samples. We already know how to chop samples. We already know how to play samples. I thought we knew how to play samples. Maybe not. My keyboard doesn't seem as if it's hooked up. That's quite embarrassing. Let's do something about that. Yeah. Alright, so we know how to play samples. We know how to access the mixer. And so the mixer function will actually be your friend here in exporting data a lot. It will be a big friend. Let me get some real estate here with my screen. I need some screen real estate. Come on now. Don't be stingy with me now. Come on now. Alright, so okay, you want to act funny like this. Don't act up in front of company. Alright, so we know how to open the mixer. And so when we're exporting data, this is going to be our best friend, because with MPC Essentials, we only get 2 tracks to export, left and right. Stereo. We don't get 1 mono, we don't get 16 mono, we don't get 24 mono, we don't get 12 stereo, we don't get 16 stereo. We get 2 tracks, left and right, stereo, to mix down to and to export to out of. And so keep that in mind. So for my advanced guys, if you're trying to export an entire project like the one that you're looking at now, which I think I recorded probably about 10 tracks, you got to do them one by one. And so some people probably just clicked off right there like, well, that's enough for me. I don't need MPC Essentials. MPC Essentials is pretty cool, man. I cannot complain about it. It's a dope program. So keep in mind that you only get 1 stereo track to mix down to and export to. So that's important to remember when you get ready to start making a beat, and then you like, oh man, I need to add I'm gonna use all 16, and then I'm gonna make a couple other different programs. When you get ready to mix down and export that, it's gonna be that extra work as well. So I'll show you a couple workarounds, but the actual real-time render, the rendering process is streamlined to 2 tracks. I just got to reiterate that. You get 2 tracks, that's it. Okay, and then I'm going through the workaround to show you how to take your tracks from MPC Essentials, and then you can either send them to a friend, like, if you're working with somebody in Germany and you're in Chicago, you're working with somebody in France, or down the street, the studio next door, or maybe you have a track that is on your laptop and you need to send it to somebody's phone, or you know how it works nowadays. Everybody is really intuitive, and we have this nanotechnology, and so it's really easy to transfer data. And so we'll be transferring data from here to a place where you can then send it to another place by extracting it from this particular software. Okay, so cool. Not trying to sound all deep and everything. I'm just breaking it down to the very last compound. All right, so bada bing, bada bip. We're looking at our mixer. The main thing that you need to remember when you're exporting data is the function is located in the file menu. So when you click on file, you want to go down to export. And if I can highlight it, when you go down to export, you have a couple different options here. Not a couple, you have 4 different options. You can export it as a project archive, which is really cool because it gives you a nice little folder. It gives you your project file, and it gives you all of your samples, all of your VST information, all of your voluming, and everything is in there. Everything that you create in your particular project goes into this project archive. Okay. The next option that you have is exported as a pattern. And so basically all of your information in the MIDI window that you played out, that you tapped out with your controller, goes into this pattern file. MIDI file, you already know. If you use an MPC, or if you use any hardware standalone to make your beats, you can export the MIDI from and the samples from the MPC Essentials software and open it up in your MPC, or what's something else that somebody might use. Roland Phantom workstation, a Korg Triton workstation, anything that'll set a MIDI file. Any DAW will take a MIDI file. Contact VST will take a MIDI file. So you can export as a MIDI, but make sure you send the samples over to whatever you're using as well. If you just export MIDI, you're just going to be sending signals, and so there has to be sounds associated with those signals. If you don't have, I didn't mean to laugh, but it's been a learning process for me, because I remember first learning what MIDI does and exporting MIDI, thinking that this dope beat was going to transfer, but it was only signals and notes, and so I had to learn the hard way. That's why I was laughing, because I know somebody's going to have to go through that, and it's not a fun process. But anyways, so if you export a MIDI file, make sure you export your samples as well into whatever you're using, MPC, Contact, or whatever. Alright, so I'm going to click on As Audio Mixdown so that you guys can get a chance to look at the codec window that pops open. Alright, so you see Audio Mixdown here, right? Bada bing, bada bip. In the first section, the first field, the start bar, is where it's going to begin to render your file. And so pay close attention to make sure if you want it to start on bar 1, you're going to get bar 1, on your file. Sometimes people just want the hook. So if the hook starts on bar 25, you can by all means put this on bar 25. Okay? The end bar, of course, is self-explanatory. The last bar that it will render will be that number that you specify. this particular pattern or patch that I just made is 50 bars. All right, so I may not want 50 bars. Let's just say I want the first 8 bars. So I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna drag it down to 8, right? And then if you have a something like a plush reverb tail end on a snare or something, like I really like doing that, or if you have a delay on a kick or a vocal or something like that that lasts beyond the final end bar, then you may want to click on the audio tail and say, hey, I want like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds of the audio tail on this particular render so that it doesn't just chop your sound off at the end. That's kind of important. Had to learn that the hard way too, but not with this particular program. It's just good that they added that on. All right, so render source. Just like I told you, you know, you only get 2 tracks. It does have a drop down window where you can click on it, but unfortunately it only has outs 1 and 2. Now if there's a possibility to set up other outputs, I have not explored that yet, and so if it's a possibility, then I'll make another video once I discover that. I actually will delve into that today, but that'll be on my own time. Alright, so you get these 2 stereo tracks, 1 and 2, and then down here in file format you have WAV and you have aiff. Both are suitable. All DAWs accept them. A phone will not play a aiff wave unless you have an iPhone. So if you're sending an Android person a aiff file, they're not going to be able to play it. And in most cases, WAV files are way too big for phones, but these are the 2 options that you have. So if you want an MP3, you're going to need an MP3 converter to convert your file after the fact that you render it. Okay, you do have some bit depth options, 8 to 32, and so keep in mind that CD quality, and also remember that everybody's computer or processor does not support 22, 24, 32, and 64 bit depth. So 16 is pretty much the standard. If you go 8, that's pretty, 8-bit quality is pretty low. So, you know, 16 is probably where you want to keep it at, unless you know for sure that where you're going with this file has 24-bit depth capability. Then run like Forest. Alright, sample rate 44.1 is the freaking universal standard everywhere. If you are broadcasting radio, I would see you doing 96 kilohertz, but most hip-hop, dub, R&B, trance, dubstep producers are not transmitting live compressed audio, so you don't need 96 kilohertz. 44.1 is cool. Alright, so I went over the codec. Let's talk a little bit about filing. So I want to make sure that I break this down in a way that it'll be easy to recall for you guys. So let's just say with this particular track, we want to send someone the stems, but we only want to send the first 8 bars or the first 8 measures. So what I'm gonna do here on my desktop is I'm gonna set up a new folder, and then I'll call this what do I call this? I'll call it YouTube render. For some reason I double click this instead of right clicking it. I need to rename it. Okay, control click, rename, YOUTUBERENDER. All right, cool. So this is the YouTube render folder. Now we're going to take our audio from MPC Essentials and write it to this folder. Okay, the reason why we're going to do that is because there's a process with MPC Essentials that you have to take the track through in order to be able to get it rendered as stems. Okay, so I'm going to take you through that process. Now, most projects need to have each track on its own WAV file. So, being that we only have 2 tracks that we can export at a time, or 1 stereo track that we can export at a time, what I've grown accustomed to do, and there's other ways to do this, this is not the end-all say-all, but what I've grown accustomed to do with this program is to solo the track that you want to export. Okay, so being that we only get 1 stereo track, we have to export these tracks one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to solo my kick. I think my kick is right here, full level. All right, I'm going to solo my kick, so when I play, the kick should be the only thing that I hear. All right, so we're going to take that kick and then we're going to write him to him. We're going to take the kick and we're going to write that file to our YouTube render folder. So I'm going to go back to the export menu and then we'll go as audio mixdown, right? So we get our same codec that I just went over with you guys. And again, we're only going to render the first 8 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. We don't need an audio tail, it's just a kick. And all of these settings are fine. So now we click export. Bada bing. If you have effects on your let me focus really quick here. I need to get to my desktop. If you have effects on your on the track, whatever track that you're exporting, make sure that those are, I want to say live, make sure that they're selected and make sure that they're on, because if you don't, then it's not going to render with the effects on it. Alright, so here's our YouTube render folder, right? Here's a file name below. Make sure you go through and then you name each and every file, because what you're doing here essentially is rendering each instrument separately, and if you don't name things appropriately, you're going to get a big mess. Alright, so I've named that file kick, and I could also make a new folder, but we know this going to YouTube render. I'm going to save, and it's going to render 8 bars of the kick. Alright, so we'll give that a second. Bada bing, bada bip. Shout out to my homie RJ. He's always saying bada bing, bada bip. And when I'm not streaming, it's a lot faster than that. But it just takes a minute because my CPU is working hard. Alright, so I'm going to go into the YouTube render folder. For some reason I have no items. Ah man, recording live. It bees like that sometimes. Let me go back, because I'm pretty sure that it looked like it rendered. It seems as if I know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Export. I'm going to just do that same operation over again. Alright. We only want 8 bars. Maybe I wrote it to the desktop instead. I probably should have highlighted the folder itself. Start bar 1, end bar 8. Stereo output, everything straight. Alright, cool. I wasn't even trying to rhyme on that, but it's all gravy. Train with biscuit wheels. Yeah, I did write it to the desktop, but just for the sake of continuity, I'm gonna highlight the YouTube render folder. Actually, I'm gonna open it up and then I'm gonna press save. We got the kick.wave. Save it. And so next time I have to be careful that I'm not rendering to the wrong place, and you guys should do that too. So it's exporting now. That should take a half a second because it's only 8 bars. You might have a 16 bar loop, and there's your kick right there. Let's audition these 8 bars real quick. And it sounds like this. It should sound just like it sounded in MPC Essentials. Did I click on it? Maybe not. Oh, it's still loading. Yeah, it got a lot of CPU going. There we go. That's what my kick sounds like. Alright, so let's go back. Actually, there's another kick that I wrote, that original one, by accident. I'm gonna put him in the garbage can. Bada bing. Alright. Let's go back to MPC Essentials. And so you will repeat this process over and over again until you finally export your last instrument. So here is my snare. I would solo my snare and I would name it, and then I would take it through that process. I'm not going to do that right now because it's not beneficial. So as you can see here, I have several tracks that need to be rendered. Alright, my CPU is... Man, this track just made me want to bounce, man. Nice. Alright, like I was saying, you know, I have several tracks that need to be rendered here. I'm not going to take you guys through that tedious process. So, that's pretty much the gist of what you need to do to export audio and project data from MPC Essentials. Yeah, just wanted to make a real quick video. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section. If you have a request for a video, put that in the comment section. If you have I don't know, some type of trollish desire to say something stupid to me, put that in the comment section. Alright, I have a new single out. It's called Chicken in That Bread. Go grab that from Google Play. It's also in iTunes, so Android and iPhone people, my music is ready and available for you. Please click on the thumbs up so that you can drive me up the relevant charts, comment, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned. I will be doing a bunch of videos from MPC Essentials to Logic to GarageBand to wave editing, sampling, all of those different things. So you definitely want to stay tuned. I think I pretty much covered everything. That I did not go over. So you've rendered all of your files. And your next step is to, looks like my MPC just had audio dropout. Your next phase is to take this audio data, and you need to send it to a studio in Holland. So what you would do is just shoot this over to a zip folder. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna compress this. If you are using Windows, you right click and put send to, or unless you're using like a RAR program or something like that, WinRAR, whatever. But just right click it, send to, and then I'm going to just press I'm going to select compress YouTube render. Bada bing. It's going to compress that down to a very tiny file. So right now we're looking at a file. If I was to right click on this and get info, compressing it really shrinks the file down so you can take it other places. So this file is 2.6 megabytes, right? But after I compressed it, it became 686 kilobytes. And so that's a significant amount of space that you're able to save by compressing the file down and shooting it over to the studio. I was able to fit an entire album project on a 1 gig zip drive to take it to the studio to get it mastered, to the mastering house to get it mastered. And so 1 gig drive with each song, each wave file compressed was enough space, just a thumb drive that I had on my keychain. So I hope that information helps you guys, and that you guys are able to make some bangers. And I appreciate you guys watching the video.